Alrighty, time to start recording a new video. Let's go. It'll be so much fun. Well, that's new. If you haven't been watching the Spellifies, go watch those. Been doing the face cam there for like a week now. So I figured it's the end of the year to try out the face cam sort of stuff and I really don't want to animate more than I need to. It's a year in review thing. This video needs to get out that door before 2025, and if I animate it, we're not getting it out the door. But for those of you who've only really seen me for my dulcet tones, hello there! It's nice to finally put a face to the name, isn't it? Outside of like one Magic on Vegas tweet and Courier 6's Burning Inquiries episode I was on, I've been pretty faceless as far as the channel goes, but with the new year just days away, I figured it was worth giving some sort of retrospective and update. What we've accomplished this year, what I can improve with, and what I'd like to try and expand on going into the next year. And starting with noting what we've accomplished, I'm starting with an audacious thank you so friggin' much to everyone who subscribed. I started the year with just reaching 100 subscribers. Now we're like at almost 700, which is honestly way more than I thought I'd ever actually get to running this whole thing. And that's just here. TikTok has gotten a lot of love too. We're almost at 300 over there. I think it's closer to like 275 or that range, but that's still mind-boggling to me. So if you stuck around, I hope you continue. And if you're just meeting me for the first time through this video, one, I'm impressed the algorithm got the video to you, so thank the algorithm, I guess. And two, go check out some of my favorite videos from this year. There's a playlist link somewhere around here I'm going to put to understand what the vision is I'm cooking, or honestly microwaving. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. So the highlight of the year was the Goat to Magic card connection. There's some editing stuff and scripting here and there that I might want to go back and fix. God, especially with the cards. I'm never going to stop hearing about foretell traps. I get it. That was a bad thing in hindsight, but I needed the traps to work. But the response to it was so astronomical, I never thought it was going to get that big. I vividly remember constantly refreshing the view count to see how far it would go, and the reach it had was incomprehensible as someone who's still fairly new to having an audience for stuff on the internet. Putting this here to say, there's more coming, and I'll get to that later. Battle Spirit Saga had some really good videos in my opinion, especially that how to play video. It's like fourth on the page when you go searching for that term on YouTube. That's pretty neat. In my deck list for stomping over people with Fable Beast and showing off the Cursed Casino deck from set 5, I'm really surprised that with the video speaking of, mostly because I thought it was the kind of thing that needed more editing, but you guys seem to like it well enough. For Magic, wow, I made a lot of Magic stuff this year, which makes sense. It's sort of the main card game I've been playing for a few years now. I've definitely enjoyed making the small Commander storytime shorts, and especially the vignettes on combos or specific cards. I am a little frustrated it didn't get as much reach as I hoped, but the Rag Dragon video, at least the intro was killer. One of my favorites. Easily one of my favorite things I worked on this year. I'm still so impressed by the sound work Caleb did for me on that with the intro. That was so awesome. And less of a specific game, but the Today in TCG history shorts. I feel like it's something that's not really around on YouTube, and it's something I'd definitely like to do more of. It's just a little difficult given the lack of older historical information, and unfortunately my process of doing it is very spur of the moment. Mostly because there's not like a calendar, you know, for all the important TCG releases or events that happen in one place. Wait, maybe that's a thing I should work on. Projects for another day. Let's talk about the things I feel the channel needs some improving on. For one, daily / more consistent content. Spellifies are cool, but the way I've been outputting them sort of incentivizes not having it show up in your feed to get more people over here. So that's something I'd like to try and fix up for the next year with stuff like Today in TCG history and the Commander Storytime shorts. At least that's how I feel about it. I'm not sure how you guys do, which leads me to the next need for improvement on the report card and community stuff, which leads to negatives on both ends. For me, I have one, no real idea of how big my community really is, and two, leads to me not knowing the content you guys really want. I mean, there's analytics on YouTube for that, but it's easier to get a grasp when people are actually saying it to your face versus needing to stare at graphs and charts when I'd really just want to be making stuff. And to at least help get me a better idea of what my community looks like, how it is, how it acts, etc., I've opened up a Discord. That's right, folks, we've integrated announcements into the end of the year video. It's very bare bones at the moment, but the Cardboard Kitchen will be another place for you to yap to me about the kind of stuff you'd want me to take a crack at. And I'm hoping in general, this will get me a better idea of what people think of the content I'm putting out. The only reasons I fixed the subtitling on Spellify was because a guy on TikTok pointed it out to me, and the only reason I found out that OBS was exporting at a 4-pixel quality was from another comment. And in this same vein of community, branching out to other communities and trying to do more work with them. I've done a bit of that this year already, teaming up with Tony from Aetherdrop for Burning Inquiries, Beavers and Onyx on their respective streams. Obviously, trying to stream myself would be a nice way to incorporate that. There is a bevy of people itching to hop on for some good old-fashioned Commander gameplay, so that's definitely something I'd like to pursue in the next year. And that sounds like that segues nicely into plans for the coming year. Starting with news that hurts me the most, you might be seeing a decrease in Battle Spirit Saga content. Unfortunately, given the lack of any news for a set 7 that we probably should have even heard a teaser for months ago, Bandai's laughable social media presence for the game, and the pricing for Worlds looking, well, bad is a charitable way to say it. Man, if only we got another Gundam collab, it would have saved the game! It's very likely Bandai wraps up Battle Spirits at Worlds this coming weekend and uses it to lay the foundation for Gundam. However, I still have the Atlanta Grand Open video in the works. I know it's been like a year plus at this point, but the project means a lot to me and I want to make sure I do it right. I also had to re-script it because my original narration was clocking in at over an hour and I had a lot of extraneous stuff in it. But if we do get a set 7, you will be seeing more stuff from me, definitely. If we don't, you'll likely see some kind of breakdown from me describing the rise and fall of the game, and how Bandai punted it at, like, every opportunity. Given how I've seen Bandai handle this game, as well as the litany of other games that Bandai puts out, I don't feel all that eager to jump into a different Bandai game just to have the same nonsense from the same company, so instead, you'll likely be seeing much more Illustrials content. I've been getting pretty invested into the game, given its presence at my local card shop and the people I've been meeting from it, and I also threw some dollars at the Kickstarter to get Clash when the beta drops. So, regardless of what happens, Illustrials will definitely be joining the channel, and we'll see what happens with Battle Spirits. As for the other games, you'll definitely be seeing Magic content through the variety of stuff. Pre-releases, openings, Today in TCG History, Spellify, Commander Storytime shorts, a lot of that stuff. Yu-Gi-Oh! Content also by extension through Card Connection. I've got one cooking that I think you might enjoy a lot if you're a fan of the 2013 formats, and maybe some older format stuff. I finally have an Edison deck put together, and being around Caleb from the Illustronauts, I know he wants to get people on board Meadowlands. Alongside all that, maybe dipping back into some old style video essay content. I've had some ideas and maybe we can get those out this year. I don't know, we'll see. But I think that wraps up this year in review. Check out the affiliate links in the description to help support the channel. Join the Discord so you can actually have a say in how the channel develops from now to however long it lasts. And check out the playlist I made with some of my favorite videos I made this year. I'll see you next year with more cardboard related content, but until then, always hold up some mana for that final word, Phantom. See you guys.
Hey, this is past Josh. I mean, not by that much. I'm recording this maybe a day after, or no, I'm recording this a day before the intended video goes up. If you watched through the end here, I appreciate it that you stuck through to the end. As a little treat, I'm trying to do something a little bit more. So I mentioned in the video, I'm trying to scroll this up real quick, that a thing that I want to try improving more on in the coming years being more of a face for my channel. So it's not just the little die with a sword. That's cool and all, but obviously that doesn't help people connect with the person behind the camera, sort of thing. And obviously it's kind of hard when the first year has primarily been a lot of this faceless, you know, yapping into a microphone kind of content. But figured I'd try something, kind of give more, I guess, community kind of talk. I've been playing guitar for a long time now, and figured I'd do a little bit for you. So, thanks for staying through to the end. Appreciate it. And this song, I'd say, kind of captures a lot of my kind of feelings and aspirations for what I want this channel to eventually turn into. And maybe a lot of the stuff that isn't quite there yet, but maybe someday will. So, hope you enjoy. Thanks again for sticking around. And I'll see you next year in 2025 with hopefully some very fun card game content. Slow down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile, but then if you're so smart, tell me why you're still so afraid. Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? You better cool it off before you burn it out. You got so much to do and only so many hours in a day. But you know that when the truth is told, you can get what you want or you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. Ooh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? Slow down, you're doing fine. You can't be everything you wanna be before your time. Although it's so romantic on the borderline tonight. Too bad, but it's the life you lead. You're so ahead of yourself that you forgot what you need. Though you can see when you're wrong, you know you can't always see when you're right. you're right. You got your passion, you got your pride, but don't you know that only fools are satisfied? Dream on, but don't imagine they'll all come true. When will you realize Vienna waits for you? Slow down, you crazy child. Take the phone off the hook and disappear for a while. It's alright, you can afford to lose a day or two. Ooh, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? And you know that when the truth is told, that you can get what you want, or you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. Ooh, why don't you realize Vienna waits for you? When will you realize Vienna waits for you? And that was Vienna by Billy Joel. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you next year in 2025 for more card game related content. Until then, Happy New Year. I'll see you then.